Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. If you've never been here before, I'm so glad you discovered me. Be sure and subscribe and ring that little bell, and it'll notify you every time I upload a new movie review. I've been watching a ton of movies and haven't had time to film any reviews, so they're going to be coming fast and furiously now. So stay tuned, and you want to be aware whenever I upload, so ring that bell. Okay, so today the movie I'm reviewing is called Once Upon a River. This movie is available now in virtual theaters everywhere via video on demand. Now, the film doesn't actually have a rating, but I'd give it an R for language and some very mature scenes. So it's not family friendly in that regard, but I'll give you some tips for parents here in just a minute. It's an hour and 32 minutes, and the movie review mom grade I'm giving it is an A minus. And I want you to learn about this movie because I think it's really interesting. So, first, in a nutshell, first time director Harula Rose shares a coming of age story about a very fearless heroine in this drama. It's based on the best selling novel of the same name by Bonnie Jo Campbell. Harula Rose has a very bright future, I think, in the film industry because she did such a great job with this very first film. It's already won 17 awards in the film festival circuit. So let me give you some tips for parents. You see a teenage girl in her underwear, and then later you actually see her topless. A mother walks away from her family. So if you do watch this with your children, assure them that you are not going to abandon them because that's a big part of the movie and its message. You see a dead deer and some other dead animals that have been shot along with pelts after they've been skinned. A teenager drinks alcohol given to her by a very predatory, evil adult, and then he has his way with her. It's consensual though, so it's not a rape scene, and you see some stuff. Later, you see blood on a girl's underwear indicating stuff. There's some profanity and two F bombs, and generally PG-13 movies can get away with two F bombs. But again, because of the nature of what happens in the movie, I think I would still give it a rated R. There's guns and shooting, people die. Because the heroine is starved for affection, she's pretty promiscuous, and you see a visit to an abortion clinic. So there's another adult topic that you may or may not want to have your kids watch. Other themes, though, that I think are really interesting and worth mentioning are destiny, infidelity, family, consequences, and taking ownership of your actions and the consequences that follow, emotional connection, healing old wounds, dishonesty, and the importance of having good parents around, selfishness. And then here's an interesting line spoken by Margot, who is the protagonist, played by Kennedy de la Serna. She says, "You should live how you want." And I think it's a really interesting theme because it shows the consequences of people who do live the way that they want to. Some are positive, some are negative. That I think is worthy of a conversation after you watch the movie. Now, some things that I really liked about the movie include Kennedy de la Serna, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She gives a wonderful breakthrough performance as a Native American teenager living in rural Michigan sometime in the 1970s. She sets off on a river alone to find her estranged mother, who left her family, and she meets some interesting characters along the way. So that's part of the coming of age story, but also as she changes from a young girl to a grown adult. The director gives us some very rich details that really help us to understand where the teenager's mindset is. And those little details, I think, make all of the difference between a good film and a great film. There's also some great cinematography by Charlotte Hornsby, and the film is shot with a very insightful lens. Because of the title of the movie, the sound of the river was outstanding and ever present. So kudos to the sound department. Another round of kudos goes to the location management team. What a fun job that would be. I want to sign up for that to go, get paid to travel around and find just the right location for a scene. And they did a really great job. And the music was not heavy handed, it offered just a touch of background every now and then. And I really appreciated that because some movies have been ruined by too much forcing the audience to feel one way or another in a scene. And this is just a very subtle touch. And really, it allows you to make up your own mind on how you feel about what you're seeing. I like the title of the movie, but I actually think the title, The River Rose, could have been even more appropriate because I love double meanings. So the name of a boat that she drives around on the river is called the River Rose, but she's also a river rose as she blossoms into this young woman. Now, there were some things that I didn't like about the movie. First of all, there isn't that much humor. It is all drama. Although there are a few humorous characters that the protagonist meets along the way, but it's not like laugh out loud humor. It's just really subtle things that the characters say that you might find amusing. And that's it. The movie is really full of sadness. And while the story is about Margot, this teenage girl, some viewers are just going to be bored and depressed by the story. Some viewers are not going to be satisfied with the ending of the story, or they're going to say, well, nothing really happened. It was just a slow burn to nowhere. And I can see that. And so try to appreciate the little nuances, the little subtle messages in the movie and the filmmaking itself. And then I think that you'll enjoy the movie. Also, be sure to go to my website, moviereviewmom.com. And that's where I include lots of the funny lines, if there are any in a movie, or the interesting and insightful lines that I write down as I'm watching the movie. So, I'll tell you one right now, is by Margot, again, played by Kennedy de la Serna. And she says, you can go to the river to remember, or you can go to the river to forget. And she does both in the movie. And it's very insightful, and it lends an air of melancholy throughout the entire movie. Just even the slow meandering of that river is kind of that slow meandering path that the movie itself takes. I thought it was actually really well done. It's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I think that you will enjoy it if you can appreciate some of those little details. All right, that's it for my movie review. I hope you're safe and healthy and be kind out there. I'll catch you in the next movie. Bye for now.